basketball to cannonball. Take the plunge with over 300 slam dunk destinations to choose from this season. Visit newcastleairport.com or your local travel agent and book today. Newcastle Airport, official sponsors of the Eagles women's team.
Sounds of it on.
You change the set of headphones.
They are your visitors, the Sheffield Hatters. But now let's turn our attention to welcome your team, the Newcastle Eagles!
Do you know where it plugs into? Well, you need somebody will have to do something. Well, only 3 minutes away from 5 minutes away from. So one's gone into there. The big, I think your big one. Well, I've no idea. One goes in there, I think, somewhere. Is that in there? I think that goes in there somewhere. Main's in there. That's Main. So there's a space.
Mine worked before, but she did a headset.
Homegrown Eagles talent, 5'9" forward, weight 51, Grace Ray. And your head coach and player, Genie International, 6'2", Chloe Gaynor.
So Main is in there.
They are your Newcastle Eagles.
So I think that one goes in there.
Super League basketball season here at the Virtue Arena. We start the season with support of the W Club, the Eagles women, partners, supporters and sponsors. Many of you here this evening, we thank you for your support. We don't forget Newcastle International Airport, your airport, Knuckle, Virgo Food, Luno, Secondary Attack,
You're pressing the live button.
Virtue, and the Centre Group, all once again here at the Virtue Arena, supporting your
Testing. Is that going out? Don't know. We don't know. You know, if I speak and I go out live, it's definitely thing. So if I just start the commentary and we'll see what happens. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Virtue Motors Arena for today's Betty Cordona Trophy SLB action between the hometown Newcastle Eagles and the visitors, the Sheffield Hatters. We're having a few technical difficulties at the moment, so my co-commentator Dave Elderkin will not be joining us at the moment, but we're trying to get that sorted out. I hope everybody can hear me in the building and who's listening online and watching online. I'm going to run you through the starting fives, which have just been given. For the Eagles, it's number 1, Alyssa Marin, number 12, Maria Mongomo, number 15, Sarah Wells, number 21, Jada Depar, and number 22, which is Andrea Daly. For Sheffield, it is number 7, Georgia Gale, number 20, Shauna Harrison, number 22, Megan Mullins, number 31, Emma Gandini, and number 35, Antoinette Lewis. I understand there has been visa issues and eligibility issues this week in both camps, but fortunately for Sheffield, Antoinette Lewis has been passed to play, and she is in the starting fives. But unfortunately for the Eagles, new guard Shanique Lucas, who they signed from Durham Palatinates after the Palatinates went out of business at the end of last season, she has not been passed through the authorities to play today. The Eagles starting with a completely brand new starting 5 from last year. They only retained 3 players from last year. That was Alex Campbell, Sarah Burkett and Zoe Willis. Chloe Gaynor has come back as player coach, but it's very doubtful that she'll play a lot of minutes at all. And Eagles have got a lot of new faces both in the starting 5 and on the bench as well. For Sheffield, they retained Emma Gandini, Georgia Gale, Shauna Harrison, Nina Crispa, and they've also brought in some new players in Megan Mullins, Antoinette Lewis, who of course was an Eagle, Cheyenne Stubbs, the guard, and obviously another ex-Eagle, Maria Fernandez Pardue. So Sheffield in a nice pink strip, Eagles in black and white. It was Daly that won the tip, but the ball was saved by the Hatters, and it's picked up by Harrison, who drives to the basket early on and is fouled by Andrea Daly, going to the basket, and will get 2 shots to start us off. Shauna Harrison, who obviously was with Sheffield last season, averaged nearly 10 points a game for them. Good all-round player. Misses the first of our 2 free throws though. Makes a second to give Sheffield the lead. DePar, who hasn't actually played a competitive game of basketball since she was injured 2 years ago in practice for the Eagles when they were going to go to the O2 playoff final. Marin for 3 is fouled and has made the bucket as well. Incredible shot from Alyssa Marin. Alyssa Marin there knocking down the 3 and was fouled and will go to the line for an extra shot. Sensational play by the new guard from the Eagles. Coming in from the University of California, Santa Barbara. Makes the free throw. She's up to 4 points. She only scored 3 in the whole of last week's pre-season win, 66-55 over Caledonia. Here's Gale shaking and baking, looking for Lewis inside. Can't find it. Good Eagles defense there. Sarah Wells picks it up, gives it to Daly. Daly was trying to go around. Marin gets it, but it's knocked free by Mullins. Megan Mullins coming in from America. Eagles kick it back out to Sarah Wells. Wells into Daly. Nice pass inside by Daly to Mongomo. The ball gets stuck between basket and hoop. And that means it'll be a jump ball. And it's the Eagles who have got the possession arrow in their favour, so they will take the ball on. Chloe Gaynor patrolling the sidelines in a uniform, as we can see. Ball is kicked out by Marin to Daly. Daly's going to try the 3, hits the front of the rim. Lewis takes the first of what might be a few rebounds, but then loses the handle completely as she looked down court for Gandini. Throws the ball out of play.
Well, that's an uncharacteristic error from the Hatters.
Good afternoon, Dave.
Yeah, good. Well, a little technical problem with my headphones, but here I am, and obviously it's pleasing to see the Eagles made such a good start.
Marin gives it into Daly. Daly step back, but Lewis has got a piece of that. Well, referees disagreed, but Chris Curl, the SLB referee, got it right. The shot was blocked by Lewis. Daly's shot was blocked. Ball into Daly again. She goes off the rim and gets her own rebound. Comes back another 14 seconds. Mongomo shows for her. Dapper Well, Dapper goes past Lewis, tries to reverse, but another block from Lewis. Dapper puts it inside Mongomo, but that's a 14-second shot clock, and Sheffield got away with one.
Well, it's easy to follow your commentary, Jeff. Dapper and Lewis, two ex-Eagles having to go against each other.
And Jada Dapper told me pre-season that these are the matchups she's looking forward to. It Antoinette Lewis, but she loved the fact she played against Sierra Hodges last week up in Caledonia. Nice work by Shauna Harrison getting to the basket.
I always thought that last season Shauna Harris was underrated for a long time, but she showed her worth in the end.
Didn't she go to the European Championships for Great Britain as well, didn't she? Marin's got an unusual shot, but it didn't go this time. Dapper puts her hand out. Gandini, though, gets the pass from Mullins to Georgia Gale. Georgia Gale shoots the three and misses. She only ever misses 10. She tends to only miss 1 and 2. Lewis for 3 is also off. Eagles not getting the rebound. Gandini, lovely pass to Gale, and Gale lays it in for 2.
Well, I think this is a different Antoinette Lewis we're seeing to the one we had when she played for the Eagles. She certainly wouldn't be reigning in threes.
Not even sure if she took a 3 shot when she was with the Eagles. Marin trying to find a way through over the top to Dapper. Sorry, Depar as I must call her, and she spins round Lewis and lays it in for 2 to put the Eagles back in front 6-5. Of course, this is a trophy group game. The Eagles have their next trophy group game next weekend, away down in Nottingham.
Well, I really liked what Sarah Wells did then, because a lot of teams just tend to back off Georgia Gale. If you do that, you've got 2 problems. One is she's got loads of options, and secondly, she's likely to launch a long-range 3. I thought Sarah Wells did a really good job there, pushing her to the side. In fact, she almost forced a turnover from her.
Foul on Alyssa Marin. Mullins inbounds to Gale. Nice pass, Nina Crisper, who I think it was, Nina Crisper, nice pass, but Sheffield couldn't find a finish.
Yeah, it was a lovely drop pass. He deserved the finish.
There's Daly again, going hard at the basket, and that's going to be a foul. Foul as she drove towards the basket. Be interesting to see where the shots are given. Yep, 22 the foul on, Megan Mullins. Megan Mullins from the USA, but she played for Launceston Tornadoes in Australia's NBL 1 during the summer. Daly's first is off.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of female players these days try to fix up a summer assignment between the European season, and obviously tough league to play in Australia. She should be sharp for this game.
Daly makes 1 or 2. Eagles up by 2. It's 7-5. Apologies, as I say, for the technical difficulties. We won't be able to give you a full rundown of teams, but we're up and running. Crisper finding Gandini. Gandini inside to Mullins. She's looking to spin and go. Didn't get it. Eagles kind of tidy up. That's going to be a foul. The foul is on 22. Megan Mullins, and if that is right, I think that's her second foul in quick succession. Yeah, second foul on Megan Mullins. Vanessa Elliso doesn't even blink. Here's Mongomo for 3, doesn't make it. Great rebound by Daly. Mongomo trying to go through the middle and is fouled by, I believe it might be Georgia Gale. Or is it? It might even have been a 3rd foul on, yeah, it's a 3rd foul on Megan Mullins, so that'll be her sitting down, and we go to a break.
From basketball to cannonball. Take the plunge with over 300 slam dunk destinations to choose from this season. Visit newcastleairport.com or your local travel agent and book today. Newcastle Airport, official sponsors of the Eagles women's team.
Okay, we're back. Eagles leading 7-5. Vanessa Ellis calling a timeout. I think she's just trying to explain with the way she thinks the referees are calling things there by the looks of her actions on the bench, Dave.
Well, it's pretty critical, isn't it? You look at the scoreboard and it's flashing up that Hatters are already in the penalty, which is great for Eagles with 6 minutes to play, and the Eagles have only got 2 players with 1 foul each. So for these early exchanges, pretty much in favour of the Eagles. They've got a 2-point lead. They're looking like they're pretty good at creating good looks at the hoop, and certainly defending the paint well against the Hatters. So at the moment, we know how competitive games between these two teams can be, and any edge you can get is pretty vital in these games.
Marina Fernandez, ex-Eagles captain who played for Durham last year and is now at Sheffield. Unusual to see her coming off the bench, but she's come off the bench for Megan Mullins.
Well, it's pretty much a game of X's, isn't it? We've got the Hatters with 2 ex-Eagles. We've got the Eagles with 2 ex-Platinets and another ex-Eagle.
Yeah. I understand both Shanique Lucas and Sarah Wells are still at university at Durham.
Yes, they are. They're still doing their masters at Durham.
Yeah. So pretty good move for the both of them. Mongomo makes the second. Maria Mongomo, who won the Eagles pre-season launch night 3-point shooting contest and beaten off some really good competition. Fernandez into Gandini. Do like this Gandini, thinks she's a very good player. Shauna Harrison driving hard.
Well, there has to be, I can
charge.
say.
Alyssa Marin takes the charge. Harrison thought she was actually out of bounds when the foul was called. It's a very interesting Eagles lineup. I mean, I've watched them a couple of times in practice, but getting used to the way they play in practice and the way they play on match days are completely different. I mean, Andrea Daly, for instance, has brought the ball up, handled it, and I've never seen her do that in practice at all. Dapper DePaul, as I've got to remember, I called her Dapper that. Sarah Wells for 3 is too long. Great rebound by DePaul, and in for 2. She's the Eagles captain this year, along with Zoe Willis, who's the club captain. Nice offensive rebound and putback. It's going to be a foul on Daly, I believe. Yeah, and that'll also be her second foul. She gets subbed out and Zoe Willis comes in. Eagles leading 10-5, 5:11 to go. Shauna Harrison comes out.
Well, halfway through this first quarter, there's not a lot to be picked up, but for certain, 2 good examples of the way the Eagles are packing the interior on defense. There were so many players there lined up to take that charge. I'm surprised you were able to pick out who it was.
Grace Graymont and Gandini for 3. Sorry,
if that's Gandini, I hope they've looked at the tape of the final game, the championship game last year. She's deadly from out there.
Maria Mongomo for 2.
Yeah, well, she can do it near the basket as well as long range.
Very, very good player. Gandini again for 3. That's 2 in a row, and that's enough for Chloe again. I'll call a timeout and we will go to a break. Back, Emma Gandini nailing down 2 threes there to pull the Hatters to within a point, and Chloe Gaynor calling a timeout straight away.
Yeah, I mean, there's starting to be a little bit of daylight on that scoreboard, which was backing up the fact that the Eagles had the better of the early exchanges, but I'm pretty sure the scouting report will have said, do not leave Gandini wide open on the 3-point range. Whoever's guarding her can't overhelp out.
Interesting as well that Hatters brought on Graham to play there. The guard they've signed from Utah State, Cheyenne Stubbs, the number 24, is very highly rated, but she hasn't stepped on court as yet, and I'm just wondering whether either she's A, injured, although she is in full kit, or B, perhaps she's been one of these people that's had problems with the visas. I understand the visa problem is something that's a bit of a hangover from the men's league, so we'll have to see how that goes in the next week or so. Anyway, meanwhile, it's the Eagles back on offense, and Dapper as she tries to turn the corner.
Yeah.
I do apologise if Jada DePauw's family are listening. I will get it right eventually. When you've had a full season of calling her Dapper and she comes back, it's hard to get it out of your system. But DePauw makes the first after the foul by Crisper.
I'm just going to call her Jada.
Well, it's interesting, the football club that I'm a secretary for are called Parkview AFC this season, and they've changed their name from Chesley Street United. And I keep calling us Chesley Street United, which is wrong, but never mind, we'll get back to basketball. Fernandez going deep, nice wrap-around pass to Crisper, and a great finish. Lovely pass from Fernandez.
Yeah, what excellent vision from Marina. Talking about players having all-round vision, that player was right behind her. Don't know whether there was some communication there to help her, but super play.
DePauw finds Wells in the corner. Wells knocks down the three. Signals for the assist. 3:50 to go. Marin was laid down in the corner again. It's Gandini this time. Was it not?
Well, Crisper's showing everybody how you should set the screen. Actually, she also is showing how everybody you should get pulled for doing that. That was a two-hand push. Wasn't at all a solid screen. She got away with that one.
Referee in front of the table has issued a team warning to Chloe Gaynor. That's the second team warning he's issued already.
Well, she's had a couple of things worth complaining about. You've got difficulty when you're a player coach. You have got to be careful.
Excellent steal by Georgia Gale. Here comes Gandini around to the other corner, but she can't make it. Sheffield are going to recycle it. Fernandez can't get the handle. Sarah Wells takes it on. Sarah Wells, who we saw the first game of last season playing for Durham here, and she got a really bad injury. Mongomo's
and she didn't play for months. And even then, when she came back, she was slow to get going. But at the end of the day, she had a pretty strong finish to the season. So I can understand why the Newcastle Eagles will take this opportunity when she's literally 16 miles down the road and familiar with this league.
Well, there's my answer for Cheyenne Davis with 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter. She comes on. Emma Gandini and Maria Fernandez take a seat. Antoinette Lewis and Cheyenne Stubbs are on for Sheffield. Sarah Burkett has come on for Jada DePauw. And with 17-16 to the Eagles with 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Zoe Willis, Sarah Burkett, as I say, on for Daly. She comes off the screen. Mongomo sets a lovely screen for her to go around. Marin will drive to the basket. Nice stutter step, but she can't make the shot. But she almost grabs the rebound. Lewis tidies up. Crisper in the corner. Nice pass. Lewis all the way. Sarah Burkett can't get the rebound.
Yeah, Lewis will be very disappointed that she didn't finish that. It was a lovely potential assist.
There's lots of whistles going on at the moment. I'm not sure how that one's going to be called on.
Yeah, I think she was looking to take the charge, but she moved her body at the wrong time. Pretty easy spot for the referee.
Foul was on Zoe Willis. Nina Crisper goes to the line. Both teams in the penalty now, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this little mini run of picking up fouls by the Eagles has given the Hatters the chance to get back into this game. Not only get back into this game, if she nails this second one, take the lead.
7 points off, no, 6 points off the bench, mate, that, because she missed the second one, so we're tied at 17. Sarah Wells comes away. Sarah Burkett for 3 is short. Great rebound by Depart. Gives it to Mongomo. Mongomo decides not to drive. Zoe Willis may have to drive. Sarah Wells, that's from way downtown, but she doesn't make it. Georgia Gale cleans up.
Yeah, I think the Hatters have done the homework on Mongono because they're not giving her a lot of chance to get open for that 3-point shot she has.
Lovely pass from Lewis, but Stubbs' first shot is off. Went for 3. That's going to be a foul on Sarah Burkett on the arm, and that'll be 2 points. 2 shots. It's like a bingo board, the scoreboard at the moment.
Well, it was slow to get started, wasn't it, on the left-hand side of it, but now it's racing up to catch up. In fact, they've caught up, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And I've just noticed there,
Yeah.
just coming through the door,
6 each.
Abby Lowe. No longer with the Eagles this year. I believe she's going to play for the Teesside Mohawks.
Yeah, have you heard who she's playing with?
No.
Think about the Hatters' all-time great scorer. Helen Naylor.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. So is that Teesside Mohawks going for promotion, or just the fact that they've managed to pick up 2 players who weren't going to play?
I'm not sure. I'm just getting over with the formation of this British Championship basketball. Teesside Lions, who were in Division 2, are now in Division 1.
Great rebound by Antoinette Lewis off the shot from Grace
So
Graham.
I'm not exactly sure. I understand that as another adjustment, that the women's second division is no longer north and south. It's just full nation.
Mongomo just went again. Yeah, I have to say that your knowledge is supersedes mine on that one, Dave. Meanwhile, back to this game, with just over a minute to go, Stubbs drives to the basket, can't make the bucket. Mongomo takes the rebound, and the ball hits the back of Zoe Willis's heel.
Yeah.
Not sure that really was a good.
No,
good pass.
Zoe Willis was doing what she should be doing, sprinting ahead to get to the corner. The better outlet pass would have been to the person who was trailing her.
And the Eagles were a little bit unfortunate there as well, because Mongomo got the steal. Sorry, Sarah Wells got the steal, but Mongomo was judged to have fouled Crispa, who's back on the line. Nina Crispa with 6 points. Make that 7. I think she leads all scorers in the game. Yeah. Healthy crowd in, making some noise.
Yeah, I mean, approximately mathematically, this is something like a 10-point swing, isn't it? From that early lead the Eagles had.
Mongomo tough to the basket, but can't finish it. Can't finish it the second time, but she's going to keep getting the rebound. Sarah Wells attacks the basket, gives it back to Zoe Willis. She finds Mongomo in the corner for 3, is no good. Fernandez gets the rebound, gives it to Stubbs. Stubbs is a save from Utah State. Some very, very good figures at Utah State as well in our senior year. 16.6 points, 3.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists a game. Good numbers in NCAA Division 1. Coming down to the last 6 seconds, Lewis, she doesn't make it. It almost gets the rebound, and the ball is bounced off.
Well, at the moment, Antoinette Lewis is getting in some good threatening positions inside, and the Keith's just not finishing them.
Stubbs in bounds, so he put that will do. Got it in bounds, but no chance of getting the shot off. So the end of the first quarter, and it's finished Eagles 19, Hatters 22, and that represents a good comeback by the Hatters.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's something like a 10-point swing from the biggest lead that the Eagles had. And They've earned it. They deserved it. They were a little bit rushed in the offensive play at the start of the game, but they've settled in. They've got a good rhythm going. But at the moment, one thing in Eagles' favour is they are struggling to finish the easy buckets they're creating in and around the hoop.
Nina Crisper with 7 points off the bench leads all scorers. Emma Gandini, who knocked those 2 threes down, is on 6 points. And looking at the rebounds and stats, not a lot there at the moment. For the Eagles, it is captain Jada DePar, who has 8 points, and she's also got 4 rebounds already. And Alyssa Marin has 4 points. So 19 to 22. First game, as I said, it's a Betty Cordona trophy. Obviously, Betty Cordona was a big part of the Sheffield's organisation. Massive, wasn't she?
I think this club is something like 64 years old. I just remember a few years ago, before Betty passed away, that they were celebrating 60 years as a club. So I'm fairly sure that something like 64 years, and very successful as well. I mean, I remember in the days when the franchisee was Sunderland, and Sunderland were at Wembley for 3 years in a row. Every year, before the final game we played in, we watched the Sheffield Hatters play somebody and win. They're probably the Newcastle Eagles in women's basketball in terms of the number of trophies they've picked up in those years.
And picked up trophies last year as well, didn't they?
Well, we sat here, didn't we? And with 3 or 4 games to go, everybody was talking about Oakland Wolves, and we said, OK, Oakland doing a good season, but we believe that the Sheffield Hatters are the best team.
And they proved that in the playoff final, didn't they, in the end?
They certainly did.
Of runners-up in the cup as well, and they got the semi-finals of the trophy last year, so they got out the group stages but didn't progress from the semi-final. Last year's trophy winners were the Caledonia Gladiators, who won 91-77 today in Manchester. It was a good win. Very good win.
Because obviously last week, we all know that the Eagles beat the Gladiators in a pre-season friendly.
And interestingly enough, the Gladiators were without 2 players because of these eligibility rules at Manchester. Of course, Manchester may well have been without players as well. Crisper's shot is over the basket, and DePar takes the rebound and then brings the ball forward. Zoe Willis is wide open for 3, but airballs the 3.
Well, at one stage, following the pre-season scouting reports and signings on the SLB website, I thought Manchester ladies were probably the only team who were recruiting at one stage, along with the Hatters.
Yeah, there was a lot of people signed a lot of players towards the end of the season, but obviously usually the signings are made, they're just not announced. And Auckland Wolves were a team who almost went into the season without announcing anybody, but suddenly they've got a roster all together. Yes, Lewis against DePar, left-hand layup is good.
That was a much better finish from her. Not an easy one either, as she made contact with a player on the spin move.
This is always going to be a tough test for this Eagles side. Obviously, we're 1 or 2 rookies and lots of people who are new. I have to say that DePar looks pretty fit. Nice move, comes inside. Shot is short though. Lewis takes the rebound. I don't know much about this Grace Graham, but she's getting a lot of game time. I thought. There's Lewis driving to the basket, but overcooks it again.
Well, I think he'll know a lot about Antoinette Lewis, sorry, and
Daly's 3 is short.
I'm guessing they're looking for her to fill a player's shoes who I was really impressed with last year when they signed Singleton during the course of the season. Thought she was a tremendous player for this league.
Yeah, she's gone to Division 1 in Italy this year as Singleton.
This is it. You have good seasons over here, and it opens up a market for you.
Eagles staying with Sheffield at the moment. Good block by Marina Fernandez as Daly goes to the basket. And here's an interesting switch. Alex Campbell coming on for Sarah Burkett, and Sarah Wells coming on for Zoe Willis.
So I'm trying to work things out. Has Shanique Lewis been on the court at all yet?
No, she won't be playing today.
Right.
There is a question. She's one of those that are caught up in the visa issue, and her visa has not been processed. Referee calls a double dribble.
Not sure about that. I know Vanessa Ellis got very excited because the rules said as long as it's downward pressure, which means it can be very much sideways, as long as it's going down.
Fell foul of the referee's whistle. Yeah, Shanique Lewis, Shauna Harrison for three is excellent shot.
For those who are not familiar with Shanique's play, she's probably the quickest player in the league, without any question of doubt. She can shoot from range. If you remember the launch night, she hit 2 from 2 from the halfway line.
From the halfway line, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not only that, she's tremendous defensive player.
Andrea Daly showing good footwork to get to the basket, but not good finishing power as Georgia Gale comes away. Sheffield have just opened up an 8-point lead. Lovely pass inside by Fernandez to Lewis. Of course, those two played together, didn't they,
Well,
the Eagles?
you know, if this year Chloe's player coach, she's going to have to consider her minutes because a big body right now around that basket would be a huge asset for the Eagles.
Not sure quite how match fit Chloe is. She has been practicing. Doesn't practice every session.
I mean, difficult for them, I know, but that's obviously a role the assistants have got to play. You know, you well remember the Eagles for years had Fab as player coach, and Dave Forrester would know when to pull him in, when to pull him out. And the thing about Fab was he was a player coach. You think of other people who've tried it. Gareth Murray, he was a coach player.
Yeah.
Fab led by example.
Yep, used to sit alongside him. Sometimes when Dave wanted to bring him out, Fab wouldn't come out, and vice versa, but it was always an interesting conversation. Sometimes I was picky in the middle, sometimes I wasn't. Marina Fernandez, we know she can shoot the three.
We know that's what she does well, especially when left that wide open. And in fairness to her, she worked hard to get in that spot.
Oh, and Alex Campbell has that pocket picked and will foul Gandini. Yep, could see that foul coming a mile away.
Well, she followed the golden rule. Let her get 2, but don't let her get 3. Well, this is more now than a 10-point swing, isn't it?
Yeah. The Eagles were up 10-5 at one stage, so since then it's been...
I thought it actually went to 12-5. I might be wrong.
You might be right, Dave.
Yeah.
So if we go to 12-5, it's now, what, a 27-8 turnaround. Or
19 points.
But this,
oh, it's 13 there, sorry. Yeah, 20 points, you're right.
So this Sheffield side has been very much set up to...
They recruited early, didn't they? Started mentioning names early. And the look as though they recruited fairly well. They had some really good players last year. That's good defence. That's really good defence.
Georgia Gale and Lewis... Daly went in hard. Daly looks as if she's willing to try and get to the basket every opportunity she can. Just a word. Eagles men currently they are down up at Caledonia by 52-46 at the half.
Well, Caledonia men have been quite quiet in any recruiting they've done. So have the women.
And that's going to be a charge all day long. I think that's about the second one Alyssa Moran's taken now.
In fairness, Vanessa Ellis might have a point. There was, I watched the Manchester-Cheshire game last night, and there's one where everybody was convinced it was a charge, but when they showed it in slow motion, it was clearly a block. The defensive player, I think it was Skylar White, simply wasn't stationary at all. He was moving sideways with the driving player. And I think that's what happened there.
Yep, giving us a charge up.
Yep. All that matters on the score sheet is one against the Hatters.
DePaul Far turns the corner. Nice little play by Jade at the
Very
bar.
composed, wasn't she? Very composed.
Eagles will be pleased with that one. They needed
Yeah,
a couple
got
of
the
points.
scoreboard moving for them for a lot. What seems like a long break. Nice pass.
And that's going to be a blocking foul called on Alyssa Moran.
For all the world there, I thought Georgia Gale was going to put a hook shot up, but inch perfect interior pass to Antoinette Lewis.
Goes to the line. Is it Alyssa Moran's? Is that a second or a third yet?
Well,
Third
obviously,
foul. Third foul.
I mean, the Hatters had a key player in 3 fouls early, but obviously they've got strength in depth that they're confident about using. Eagles at the moment have their first player on 3 fouls.
Antoinette Lewis makes the and one. Sheffield now up by 15 at 37-22. It's a big quarter for the Hatters. Eagles looking to get back. Sarah Wells virtually by herself. Tries to find Burke in the corner. Can't. Gandini lobs it over to Gale. Gale knew Gandini was trailing. Couldn't get it to her, but Fernandez did get there. And, whoa, well. Charge calls. Grace Graham will come back on. Charge called on Shauna Harrison, I believe.
Another player on 3 fouls for the Hatters,
third
but
foul as well, yeah.
you know, to me the big key right now is this 15-point lead and the way the Hatters are scoring the points.
Yeah, scoring quite easily at the moment.
Yep.
Sarah Wells brings the ball over halfway for the Eagles. There's Montgomery. Can't make it.
That was a tough move.
Gandini, really like Isama Gandini. He's a really good player. Georgia Gale trying to force it a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I think she was surprised by how well the Eagles had set up the block, and therefore her attempted layup was turned into an attempted assist. That was good interior defense from the Eagles. But as I say, the biggest issue now is, does the coach put herself in, try and take some space away from the Hatters in and around the Eagles basket? That's a lovely move.
Yeah, but
She got
great
away
hands
with a
by-
push, but
yeah, great hands by Fernandez. Lovely play by Grace Graham, but Crisper can't make the layup. Sarah Burkett was looking to go downtown. That's going to be cut off by Gale all day long from Sarah Wells. Sarah Burkett with good
Yeah.
hands.
see what they did there was they fronted her as well as had a player behind her.
Wells going all the way, and that's going to be a foul. I always think it's funny when a player puts their hands up and say, look, I've got my arms up, but you're moving your body. Not really. Timeout is called. We shall go to a break, an advert.
7 remaining to the break. Your chance to win the merchandise store of your Newcastle Eagles. More than your merchandise. And free pizza available out there at half time. Hot cold refreshments available also outside there. And your chance to get those delivered turkeys to the end of P3.
As the players come back out, we come back off the break. Sheffield leading 37 to 22, 4:07 to go.
Well, I'm not going to say that the Hatters have been totally dominant this quarter, and I think it's unfair to say that, you know, they've pretty much controlled it. So somewhere in the middle is a statement that just tells us they've had a really good quarter.
Well, defensively they certainly have, because they've restricted the Eagles to 3 points. Make that 4 as Sarah Wells knocks the free throw down. So it was 15-3 when that timeout was called. Wells makes them both, moves to 5 personal. Eagles back to 13. Interesting enough, that's this. So Eagles women down by 13. Eagles men are also down by 13, but they're in the third quarter against Caledonia. Fernandez to Gale. Gale gets all the way to the basket. Lovely move by Georgia Gale. She's been doing that for years. The Great Britain international. Sarah Wells brings the ball forward. She had a depart. Of course, the other thing about Shanique Lewis-Davis, she's probably the point guard for this team as well.
Yeah.
Crispa overcooks it. Eagles got a break. Depart, 2 inside. Wells tries to slow it down a little bit. And she will shoot the 3, and she won't make it. Fernandez takes a rebound. Gets a lot of rebounds, Maria Fernandez. Good positional player. Gives it to Graham inside to Crispa. And she's tough inside, Nina Crispa.
That's
really
the difference
tough.
at each end, isn't it? They're now converting them. The Eagles are not. Take that last shot there. That was a good shot for Sarah Wells to take. And the reason being is they didn't play any pick and roll defense at all. Nobody.
Goes to the basket. It's 2.
Sarah literally came off that pick and roll and could do what she wanted.
Gandini for 3 is good. And Vanessa Ellis decides she'll have a timeout. We will go to a break. So we're back, 2:33 to go, 24 to 44. Sheffield really in the ascendancy, 19 to 5 the quarter at the moment. Sorry, 22 to 5 the quarter at the moment.
Well, okay, I'll reframe what I said before. This is a massive quarter for the Hatters. They thoroughly deserve it. They're taking advantage of the fact that the Eagles aren't defending the paint that well. They're also taking advantage of it that the Eagles are getting outside looks but not much around the basket. That's why I'm saying that was a really good shot for Sarah Wells to take, because every time they played any sort of pick and roll, both of the Hatters players have been negative and haven't at all jumped out on the person who's dribbling the ball.
Eagles ball at the end line after the Hatters timeout. They've got a bit of a press on. They've certainly identified Maria Mongomo as a threat. Georgia Gill seems to be following her almost everywhere she goes. She gets it in.
She's been guarding her right from the start, hasn't she?
Yeah. Depart, step back is no good. Gandini takes the rebound. Crispa inside, good stand by Sarah Burkett. Graham to Gale. Gale, incredibly last season, 47% from the three-point line. Graham will put up the 3 as the clock goes down, misses the shot. Sarah Wells gets trapped up. The arrow is indicated that it's Eagles ball. I love watching Vanessa Ellis. I don't think she's seen a call ever in her life that wasn't the other way.
Well,
Proper
I'm
coach.
pretty sure if the Hatters were 40 up, she'd still be finding.
Yeah, that's proper coaching, isn't it?
Yep.
Never let up.
Yeah. I thought as last season went on, she had the Hatters playing in a really good style of basketball. Lots of ball movement, everybody involved, multiple threats. And to me, the glue behind the whole thing was always Georgia Gale.
1:50 to go. Eagles inbound from the sideline in front of the Hatters bench. DePaul and Daly exchange passes. Certainly DePaul's playing much more as a kind of swing man, isn't she, than she did when she was here the first time.
Do you see that defense there? That's the first time they've jumped onto the dribbling player. And what they almost forced a turnover through doing it.
Got hands to it, but it's Eagles ball at the end line. Nice lob in from Mongomo. Nice finish by Andrea Daly. But at the other end, Crispa's made a great breakout, although the finish wasn't as good. Pass from Gale was good. The old quarterback pass. So the NFL has started now this season. DePaul was thinking about it. Oh, it's a bit loose that from the Eagles as well. Skip pass got to go a long way there. Two Eagles trailing the play. And Georgia Gale knocks down the three. Eagles are getting a bit of a lesson in this quarter, it has to be said. DePaul, Daly, that's short, always looks short, was short. Georgia Gale picks the rebound up. Sheffield really piling on the pressure now. Gale shakes, bakes, goes past DePaul, but she gets a hand on it, DePaul. And Daly is away to the races and gets the Euro step in for one, and the foul will be on Nina Crispa. Willison Campbell for Wells. And it must be the shooter Daly, yep. Cheyenne Stubbs coming back on for Sheffield as well, getting a few extra minutes. Daly is short, but Mongomo takes a great rebound and puts it back. Eagles just closed the gap to 17, but there's only 21 seconds left. So I think there's about a 1 second difference between shot clock and game clock, so Sheffield will know how to run it down, or if they get a good shot like now, that's going to be a foul by Mongomo. 2 shots. The Eagles will get the ball back with 9.2.
Yeah. I would be disappointed with that foul because they were pushing Gander to the side. She was going nowhere.
Gandini on the line for 2 shots, makes the first. And makes the second. Sheffield not going to quite get the 50, I don't think, unless they get a steal. Daly's going to go hard. Kicks it out. Mongomo for 3 is short, and that will end it. And it's been a brilliant, brilliant second quarter performance by the Sheffield Hatters, and they will take a 19-point lead at 49-30 into the locker rooms.
Yeah, I mean, to me it all started at 12-5. The Hatters were a little bit annoyed with the way the calls were going against them. They hadn't really got into the rhythm offensively. But following that time out, and you could see how animated Vanessa Ellis was with them, they've just absolutely turned this game on its head, and that is a very comfortable lead for them. And obviously, going into the dressing room, the coach with most work to do is the home coach.
Yep, so we'll leave it there. It's Newcastle Eagles 30, Sheffield Hatters 49. Get some stats together for you and come back in about 10 minutes or so.
From basketball to cannonball. Take the plunge with over 300 slam dunk destinations to choose from this season. Visit newcastleairport.com or your local travel agent and book today. Newcastle Airport, official sponsors of the Eagles women's team.
Okay, so welcome back. 3 minutes to the second half tip-off. We'll just have a quick look at some stats here, and we'll start, obviously, the score 49-30 to Hatters. First quarter was 19-22 in favour of the Hatters. Second quarter, 27-11 in favour of the Hatters. So obviously there were big swing there. Percentage-wise, well, shooting percentage overall, the Eagles are only at 29%, which is made up of 40% from 2-point range and 2 of 14 for 14% from 3-point range. Sheffield much better. 44 overall, 43 from 2-point range and 46% from 3-point range, which is 6 of 13. Eagles have got 4 offensive rebounds, 12 defensive rebounds. 9 offensive rebounds, 12 defensive rebounds for 21 rebounds. Sheffield 10 offensive boards, 15 defensive boards, 25 in total. Assists, Eagles have 4, 12 turnovers and 5 steals. The Hatters have 11 assists, 9 turnovers and 8 steals. And individually, Jada Dapar for Eagles has 10 points and 7 rebounds. Alyssa Marin has 5 points, Maria Mongomo has 5 points, and Andrea Daly has 5 points. For Sheffield, Emma Gandini has 13 points and 4 rebounds, Antoinette Lewis 9 points, Nina Crisper 9 points, and Georgia Gale 7 points. So it's basically the shooting percentages, Dave, yeah?
Well, yeah, I mean from 12-5 or 12-7, whatever it was, following that timeout, the Eagles found it tough to score, and that shooting percentage tells you everything. I think they're lacking a little bit of a spark. They need a little bit more height on interior defence. I mean, the person who can give them the spark, unfortunately, can't play today. Think of Lucas. She's like Lauren Saki. She really puts energy into it. She can make teams play. She's lightning on the break. She's good long range, but also she's a really tough defensive player because of her quickness. But that's not going to happen today, so obviously Coach Gaynor has to work with what she's got, and the first thing to do is not look at this as a 19-point deficit that you've got to try and pull back all in this next quarter. You've got a full 20 minutes to do it. If you can reduce that to 10 or single digits by the end of this third quarter, you'd say that was a good result for the Eagles.
Be interesting to see whether Megan Mullins comes out. She got 3 fouls very early in 3:42 and sat down for the rest of the time. Just see who comes out.
Well, you know, in terms of Megan Mullins comes back, that just adds slightly, doesn't it? I mean, she's the tallest player in the game on the court, apart from Chloe.
I was just looking up Grace Graham because I didn't know the name at all, I have to be honest. And she's actually an Australian guard who played at Packham Warriors in NBL 1 last year. So obviously a decent player, and that's probably why she's been trusted with so many minutes. So the Eagles come out with Sarah Wells, Maria Mongomo, Jada Dapar, Andrea Daly and Alyssa Marin. And it's Georgia Gale, Shauna Harrison, Megan Mullins, who is out, Antoinette Lewis and Emma Gandini for Sheffield. And it's Sheffield that get us under the way, and Georgia Gale, marked by Maria Mongomo.
Yeah, great defence from Maria. Really good defence from Marina. Georgia Gale usually finds an answer to most of the defence he put on there, but she literally got completely tied up there by Maria.
Jada Dapar. Not a lot of movement inside for the Eagles, and struggling to get inside really. Mongomo for 3 is too long. Alyssa Marin gets the rebound and puts it back for 2 points.
Nice turn, nice quick turn, good offensive rebound, nice quick turn, good control, kiss off the glass.
Lewis faced by Wells. It will be a foul, I think, on... No, foul is... I'm not sure who that foul was on. Maria Mongomo.
Yeah, I mean, I can obviously see why Antoinette Lewis is trying to bulldoze her way into this inside there, but she shouldn't be allowed to see the ball that easily.
Mongomo goes to 3 fouls. Lewis goes to the line, knocks the first one down.
Difficult decision for Coach Gaynor when a player picks up the 3rd foul this early in a quarter.
Especially one who's as key to Eagles with Eagles players, Mongomo is. Marin brings it forward. Gives it back to Daly. She gives it to Parr, who thought about the 3 then didn't shoot it. Marin will have to think about it. 10 seconds left. Daly, she's not going to get through there. It's like a brick wall there. Marin from the corner is no good. She knew it was no good and went after the rebound straight away.
Yeah, she was like lightning going after the rebound. She almost got a handle on it.
Lewis thought about the 3, steps back. Shauna Harrison didn't hesitate with the 3. Mongomo though gets the rebound off the missed 3-point shot. Andrea Daly up to the elbow. Just fails to knock down the 3.
Yeah, the right move to make. Nice, good, nice, easy pull up. Every defender backing off her. Easiest thing to do. Great Euro step there from Georgia.
It was a great
but I
step.
think the defensive player did enough to put her off for an easy look.
Yeah, nice pass by Marin. Inside out there for DePaul, but DePaul didn't go up. She decided to try and find Mongomo.
Yeah. When she watches the replay of that, when they go over it, she'll realise perfect opportunity for a ball fake there, shot fake, and roundy defender.
He's ball to the end line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's poor. Poor inbound, and Gandini's away to the races, and easy 2. Player of that quality. That's going to be a foul by Emma Gandini this time. I think that's her 3rd foul. First foul, sorry, first foul, my fault.
I'm not sure some of these fouls are enough contact to warrant a whistle blowing, because Gandini fouled there, and obviously great for the Eagles for her to pick up another foul, but the Eagles player kept in complete control of the ball and had an easy option.
Lewis blocked Mongomo, and then when Mongomo tried to scoop it back out, she picked off the pass, but she couldn't get the finish at the other end. Daly comes away with it. Into the corner, Sarah Wells for 3 is no good. Eagles don't have any rebounders under the basket. So Gandini's able to get the rebound and bring it away quite comfortably. Here's Mullins. Gandini, Lewis for 3. Misses it. Mongomo takes it. Wells to Daly, but Daly can't pick it up and knocks it dead.
Both players a bit disappointed there, because that was a great run on the transition. Lovely inside feed, just couldn't get a handle on it.
Marin trying their best to get to Gale, but Gale's been in this league a long time. Shauna Harrison comes along the baseline, and Annette Lewis.
Not sure explanation the referee's given her, but from here there was an easy one. As the Hatters players went up in the air, she was moved sideways, but she can't do that herself once she's taken off.
Well, as commentators, as you well know, Dave, we can sort of question calls, but not necessarily too closely. But I have wondered about, like yourself, I've wondered about a few of the calls today, whether they've been necessary. Here's Gandini going in though. Good hands by Mongomo. Mullins is too hard, and it's an Eagles ball off Antoinette Lewis. Mongomo brings it forward. Paul waiting for a screen or somebody to get free. Daly will have to shoot from the elbow. Never looked convincing. She did go after the rebound in front of 3 people. Antoinette Lewis hassled by Daly, didn't foul her, but Lewis gets it in. Mullins goes all the way and is fouled. Fouls on Sarah Burkett. He's given 2 shots.
I mean, if I was a referee, I would have had to blow that foul. If I was a defensive player, I wouldn't have made it because she was already gone behind the back of the basket.
Mullins misses the first.
Loud and proud.
Makes the second. 54-32. Still that 22-point gap. Sheffield just edging the quarter 42. DePauw loses the handle. Georgia Gale will accept that gift. Will knock down the 3. No, she doesn't. Long rebound taken by Mongomo. Daly, Shauna Harrison, great defense. And she's gone out to go to the cafe, I think.
Going so fast, she went through the exit door. I mean, we mentioned, didn't I, Georgia Gale in the first half, if you back off her,
She'll shoot the 3.
she looks as though she's going to pass, but she'll always put it up.
And when you can shoot at 47% from 3-point range, you've probably got the green light, really, haven't you?
Absolutely, and well, she can shoot 3-point range well outside the 3-point line.
Jada DePauw knocks the 3 down. That's the Eagles back to inside 20 down. Oh, nice pass inside. That's going to be a foul on Sarah Wells. Trying to defend Gale. End-line ball.
And reverse of what happened in the first quarter. That's the Eagles already in the penalty with over 5 minutes to play.
Gandini buries another 3. Emma Gandini, super player. Up to 18 points personal. She's got 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals and no turnovers. Having a heck of a game.
Sounds like an MVP performance.
Yeah. Sarah Wells too hard off the basket, but Eagles managed to get the rebound and Wells pops up the 3, which again's too far, but Andrea Daly gets the rebound and gets the putback.
And a lot of contact when she made that shot. The official just shook his head, so obviously it looked more than it was from up here.
Sarah Burkett. DePauw in the corner. Mongomo for 3 is no good. She was knocking them down for fun in practice, but practice is practice and game day is something totally different. There's Mullins for 3. She's too far. DePauw takes the rebound. At the moment, DePauw seems to be doing everything for the Eagles, and she's going to try and shoot another 3, doesn't make it. Sarah Wells is pushed out the road by Shauna Harrison, but it didn't matter because the rebound fell to Georgia Gale.
What you've got to say about Mullins is she picked up 3 early fouls, and she's learned the lesson. She knows pretty much in this quarter how to read the officials are calling the game.
And I think that's a foul that'll see Maria Mongomo go to the bench because that's her 4th. You've also got Alyssa Moran on 4 fouls as well. So, yep, Mongomo off.
Well, she's gone to the bench. Let's remember they've only had 1 pre-season game.
Yep.
This is early in the season, but the one thing about her, she's been very competitive. That's where she's picking her fouls up.
Georgia Gale knocks the first one down.
She's tried to get into shooting position. She's tried to attack the basket. So she's played quite physically on defense, and that's why she's ended up with 4 fouls.
Eagles not really got a ball handler on the court.
Well, she's sitting there, and as you said, unfortunately, tied up with a visa issue.
And the other one who would have been handling the ball is probably Alyssa Marin, and she's on 4 fouls as well. So Jada DePauw trying to get there. Oh, that's lovely by DePauw. She's Daly's going to be a player in this league. We already knew that, but
Yeah, I mean,
he's putting up good numbers already today. In a lost cause at the moment. Gandini, well, that was. I think Andrea Daly's doing pretty good on the boards as well for the Eagles. She's shown up well. Sarah Wells touched the. Sarah Burkett for 3 is no good. Andrea Daly's got 7 rebounds. Gandini into Crispa, the Austrian international. That's Austrian, not Australian. 20 points still the gap.
nicely executed give and go there, but even better defense from Sarah Wells.
Timeout called and we'll go to a break.
Well, the Hatters are pretty much restricting the Eagles women to 13 points a quarter if you divide 39 by 3. And the impressive thing about this quarter is Hatters have played tough defence, but they've done it by only picked up 1 foul on their side of the scoreboard.
Fernandez on court again. Crispa backdoor cut by Cheyenne Stubbs. She's denied by Sarah Wells emphatically, as they say. Nice pass out. Shauna Harrison can't make it. Daly takes another rebound. Gets it to DePar. DePar comes all the way down. Is she going to go coast to coast? Yes, she is. And gets the and 1. That's a great bit of play by DePar.
Am I right in thinking that in her previous spell here she got an injury problem and had to miss quite a few games?
She came in and she looked as if she was going to be really effective and got an injury. Missed a few games, then came back for the playoffs just before the playoffs, and she was sensational in the 2 playoff games, the quarter-final and semi-final.
Right, yeah.
But then got an injury between the semi-final
right,
and the final. Couldn't play in the final.
Yeah.
So she averaged 15 points and 9 rebounds a game. You know.
Yeah, another way of saying all that is her potential was there for us to see when she was here before.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you know, getting that injury and she hasn't played since. Fernandez for 2 is short. Zoe Willis goes after it, and that's going to be, it's going to be a Sheffield ball. The referee did think about giving it the other way. Point Eagles just shading this quarter, 13 to 10. 12 to 10, sorry. Georgia Gale, no good. Crispa gets a good rebound back to Stubbs. Stubbs puts up the 3, is no good. And that's going to be a foul, a push by Crispa under the basket. Her 3rd foul, I believe. Daly handling the ball, bringing it over halfway. Once again, attacking the basket, pull-up jump shot just short. Daly almost gets it, but Sheffield get the ball out really well. Stubbs does well to take that ball. It was a hard ball. Graham Crispa. The Austrian international twists and turns and is fouled. Foul was on Sarah Wells, her second. Sends Nina Crispa to the line. Knocks down the first. Eagles in the penalty. Sheffield not. Crispa makes the first. Second one rims out, but Fernandez gets a hand on it. Harrison to Crispa, lovely play. Graham to Harrison to Crispa, and in it goes. And that was after Fernandez got hands to the rebound. Sarah Wells, nice play. Is that going to be a charge? Sarah Wells just had one foul, now she's got three.
Yeah, 3 fouls. On the plus side, she's putting a real effort in here.
Sometimes the stats don't show the effort you've put
No.
in as a player.
No.
I think Eagles will be pleased with the way Wells has played. The Sheffield side looks really, really strong. Harrison thought about the three, didn't shoot it. Ball is fizzed around. Crispa inside, Fernandez outside. She will step to the basket, drops it off to Stubbs, who is fouled by Sarah Burkett. Sheffield, to be honest, carving holes in the Eagles' defence there. 42-62 inside the last minute of the third. Cheyenne Stubbs to the line. She hasn't actually scored yet. Cheyenne Stubbs comes with a big reputation. Knocks the second one down.
She obviously heard you.
Yeah.
Your inspiration for her.
I didn't say she wasn't going to make it, I just said she hadn't made anything. Depart. Yeah, 2 points more for Depart, takes her to 20 personal. Inside the last 30 seconds now, just about. Fernandez going hard. Trapped on the baseline by the Eagles. Oh, I think they thought, I think the Eagles bench thought that was going to be called as a travel. It was called as any.
We were hoping the Eagles could get it down to either 10 or single figures, but they are playing a little bit better in this quarter.
Daly couldn't make it.
No, I mean, that was a good move by Daly. We need those to drop. We need those to go home.
And that's a foul by, if that's Sarah Wells, that's her fourth. She only had one going in this quarter. Yep, she's now on 4 fouls as well. A little bit of afters as well with Shauna Harrison. But it means that Hatters will get 2 shots from the line and Eagles will surely get the last possession of the quarter. Makes the second. Andrea Daly. 10 seconds on the clock. She's trying to shake and bake Harrison and does shake and bake Harrison. Burkett for 3 is well short. Eagles have got 1.2 seconds left on the third quarter clock and have the ball at the end line. It's going to be a catch and shoot. And it was a good catch and shoot, but unfortunately DePaul couldn't make it, so that quarter ends. Well, Eagles just got shaded by 44-64 is finished. 15-14 the quarter. 20 points Eagles will be pretty pleased with that because Sheffield could have run away.
They'll be pleased, and well, they reduced it by 1 point. You're right, Sheffield could have run away. It'd be interesting to know what the shooting percentage is, because that was a big thing when you mentioned it at half time. The number of opportunities they created in the first half, but such a low percentage isn't going to help anybody to be competitive in a game.
Just to follow up on that, Dave, as you said there, Sheffield were 44% overall, 43 from 2-point range. They've now dropped to 35% overall and 37 from 2-point range. So they have dropped considerably. They've also dropped from the 3-point line because they were 46% from there, and they're now 33. So it was the shooting percentages for Sheffield have all dropped. Eagles have only slightly picked up, but that's
right. I mean, a lot of the situation with the Hatters is that the Eagles have committed a lot of fouls in that quarter, and the Hatters, you know, first of all, obviously didn't go to the line because there were normal game fouls. There weren't shooting fouls. That's been one factor. The Eagles have got there by playing a lot more physical, which is good in terms of where they want to be for the future. Just got to learn to play physical without getting all those fouls. But although the Eagles' shooting percentage at half-time was just too low to be competitive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And if it's improved slightly, well, that's obviously a step in the right direction. But they missed a lot of what you would hope they would have converted in that last 2 or 3 offences.
3 players in double figures for Sheffield. Emma Gandini has 18 points. She's also got 5 rebounds. Nina Crispa has 12 points. Antoinette Lewis has 11 points and 6 rebounds. For the Eagles, Jada Tapar has 20 points and 9 rebounds. Andrea Daly has 7 points and 9 rebounds. And Alyssa Marin has 7 points. Last quarter, 44-64. Sheffield get us underway. Grace Graham, good hands by Mongomo, but she's been called for the foul, and that will be her done for the day.
Well, she's looking disappointed at the referee having called that. From here, it looked like she got the ball, but obviously he's in a much better angle and much better position than we are to work out whether there was any real contact from her.
Fernandez comes inside. Oh, great steal by Tapar. Good defensive work by 2 Eagles. I think it was Willis and Burkett. Sarah Burkett for 3 is good this time. Sarah Burkett nets one.
Well, we know she's capable. I remember, was it the Leicester game where she brought it alive? Auckland as well, yeah.
Top team as well.
I think she'd started feeling it the week before on an away game at Leicester.
Yeah.
And then she was really red hot against.
Yep. Maria Fernandez left wide open is no good. Good sensible decision by Depar there to let the ball go out. As Sheffield were retreating, it gives the Eagles a chance to bring the ball over halfway. Wells inside to Daly. I do like Daly's energy and go-to effort. 9 points now. Looks like she can play in this league. Remember, she is just a rookie. But defensively wise, Eagles, Chloe Gaines away to the corner.
Caught out there by not organising the transition defence, but also excellent ball movement. That's been one of the stories of this game, is the Hatters have used a lot of good ball movement to set up their offensive scores.
And I think as well for the Eagles, they've had a lot of open shots which have missed, and they've had no rebounders really inside. Harrison drives all the way to the basket and puts it in. Sure, Shauna Harrison was Great Britain international now, went to the Euros. Depar. Just wondering whether Chloe wanted Jada Depar to play this much time, but she's had no choice really. Mongo to file and out. Wells on 4 fouls, Marin on 4 fouls. Interesting fashion statement by Andrea Daly. She's now tucked her very, very, very long hair inside her vest, so it's not hanging down over her number. Sarah Burkett comes out. See what I mean? She's going to the line now. Success has almost got a sort of like a proper ponytail. It's popping out from under the back of her vest.
It's interesting, isn't it? These sportswomen with long hair. I was watching the World Athletics Championships the other night, and there was a high jumper whose hair was so long it knocked the bar off when she'd clearly cleared it with the rest of her body.
Daly makes 1 of 2. Must be very close to a double-double now on a home debut. As Dave said, this is first game in the trophy. Gandini is good.
She analysed the offence there. Georgia Gale committed the defence with that aggressive thing out to the corner. Eagles trying to recover. Meanwhile, there's a 3-point shooter 1 pass away. You're not going to be able to defend that.
I'm just wondering, Dave. Chloe Gaynor seems to be doing a little bit of like warm-up exercises. Alice Campbell turns the corner, can't make it.
Sorry, who's doing warm-up exercises?
Chloe Gaynor was. I think it's going to be a timeout called by the Eagles. The foul was called on Andrea Daly, and we will go to a break.
From basketball to cannonball. Take the plunge with over 300 slam dunk destinations to choose from this season. Visit newcastleairport.com or your local travel agent and book today. Newcastle Airport, official sponsors of the Eagles women's team.
Okay, so we're back, 7:34 to go. Chloe Gaynor, I was just trying to work out whether when she ran to the corner, she was obviously disappointed in the defensive play, but then as she come back, she was doing some high knees sort of warm-up routine, so I was wondering whether she was going to come back on. Maceo Jack's got 23, Mark Anthony's got 20. Alex Campbell out there.
Yeah, this is a situation where they've started to show some signs of improvement. They need to keep that going, even if they can't close this gap.
Christopher misses the rebound. Shona Harrison though saves it.
Because it gives the coach something to work on in practice next week. And if you can get momentum in this quarter and close that gap, that'd be a really, really important thing for the Eagles' concept for the going forward.
I mean, as a coach, Dave, I mean, as a non-coach, I'm looking at this and thinking the Eagles for 2.5 quarters have been very competitive with Sheffield, but they just lost that second quarter, lost their way there. You know, does that have a lot of impact on the way?
Yeah, and obviously when you shoot in that low percentage, it's a struggle in any game. Thing is, though, they're creating the chances. But in terms of the decisions, and she's getting herself warm, she's got to put herself out there.
So Nina Crispa called for an offensive screen, and that is her 5th foul. She is out of the game. 14 points for Nina and 5 fouls. Sarah Wells throws that one away. Mullins picks it up. I'm not quite sure which way she went there, Mullins. I think she was looking for the foul.
Oh, that was a good call.
Sarah Wells comes over halfway, just about makes it. Nearly lost it. Georgia Gale. I think Georgia Gale's had a very, very good game as well. And that's been called an offensive foul. And that means that Sarah Wells will be out of the game as well. They're discussing whether this is, whether they feel it's unsportsmanlike, I guess. Yeah, it's been given as an unsportsmanlike foul as well. Sarah Wells is out of the game. Five points, 2 rebounds, 6 turnovers. It sounds as if she's had a really poor game, and I don't think she has. Georgia Gale knocks down the free throw, and they will get possession at the sideline.
No, I don't think she has either, and I think we've got to take into account that this Hatters team was hugely successful last year. Yes, they brought a lot of new players in, but it's a real new rebuilding job, isn't it, for the Eagles?
Yeah. Gandini from Shauna Harrison. Now, Shauna Harrison was given a little bit there to the Eagles, to Andrea Daly, big style. Now she's guarding Daly, so watch that one, because I think she's decided that she is going to take Daly all day long. Pair of them getting a bit physical inside. Daly though does well, but can't knock the shot down. Harrison gets the rebound, so a win for Harrison. Not quite sure when. I think Chloe Gaynor is going to be exhausted by the time she finishes her warm-up. Antoinette Lewis inside, steps through, lays it in for 2, and suddenly Sheffield are putting the afterburners on again.
Yeah. And getting to the basket too easily.
Meanwhile, the Eagles men have completed a remarkable turnaround win and have won at 109-104 in overtime as Chloe Gaynor calls the timeout. And I think that's to get herself into the game and also just to slow Sheffield down, because Sheffield have suddenly gone into overdrive, Dave. Okay, so we're back. Just having a look on the board there. The next team to come here for the women's game will be on October the 19th. Again, that's a Sunday tip-off at 5:30 p.m. I believe, against Caledonia Gladiators. Don't know what's happened to our Saturday night gig, Dave, but they seem to want to move it to a Sunday.
No, I think all the rest of the games after that are Saturday, I think. And I think the tip-off's the same as this one, 4:30.
DePaul almost had it stolen, but goes away, gives it back to Daly. She tries to drive in. Sheffield's defence has been pretty good, Dave, hasn't it? Mullins picks up a foul there.
I mean, 3 or 4 minutes ago we were talking about improvements from the Eagles, hope, this, that and the other, and suddenly Hatters just went to a really, really good spell and took that lead up to 30 points, almost in the back of an eyelid.
Andrea Daly has got a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds, but it's in a losing cause. And Antoinette Lewis has just gone coast to coast. I was going to say laid it in for an easy 2, but she missed it. Jada DePaul comes forward. Great there, great defense by the Hatters. Alyssa Marin on the point now. She's on 4 fouls as well. She's going to try and drive through and gets bailed out with a call. I'm not sure who the foul's on.
She made a smart move before that. She recognised the teammate was in trouble and made a good dummy move, then came round, took a nice handoff.
Foul's on 35. That's an interesting one, because she wasn't actually near the ball. Marin goes to the line though. This is the second. 51-80. Game's pretty much done, 5 minutes to go. Really, it's a question now of both coaches either using their benches but of course points difference can make a difference in this, so both sides will want to go hard, particularly Sheffield, as they're going to want to win. They want to get as many points as they can. Antoinette Lewis laying in for two. Marin going to the basket, can't make it, looked for a foul, didn't get one. Fernandez gets it to Lewis, Lewis kicks it out, good hands. Gandini, 3 points. Brilliant ball movement and great shooting.
Yeah, that's the assist of the game. A high looping pass, one hand catch from Georgia.
Back from the break, 51-85. Sheffield pouring it on now a little bit. Emma Gandini up to 29 points. Dave, she's hit 7 of 8 from 3-point range.
Well, you know, in terms of looking at this Hatters team, obviously everybody's going to look to get the best imports in that they can. But when you got British players like Gandini and Gale, it's a heck of a start, isn't it?
You should have mentioned that Chloe Gaynor has come on to play the last 4 minutes and took a rebound there and set up a basket for Andrea Daly. She didn't get the assist, but she helped get the ball herself. And that ball was thrown by Megan Mullins and just smacked into the back of Andrea Daly's head. Yeah, Gandini being a standout player. She's got, this is her line, she's got 29 points, which includes 7 of 8 3-pointers. She's got 5 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers and 4 steals. Index rating of 37, quite the performance.
Well, that's a great thing, and obviously the team has so much confidence in Georgia Gale.
Well, when you consider she's made 7 of 8, and Sheffield have made 10 of 25, so the rest of the team have made, 3 of 17 from 3-point range. Nice play by Alyssa Martin. Goes back, Chloe Gaynor. Nice pass inside to Zoe Willis. There you go. Nice basket. Chloe Gaynor making a difference. Okay, 3:08 to go, 55-85.
And
Go
with
Dave, yeah.
3:08 to go and 55-85, and the coach calls a timeout. And it's clear what she was going. She was absolutely going nuts with them out the last two defences, which were basically totally passive. Nobody trying to challenge anything. That tells you a lot, doesn't it, about that programme?
Absolutely, and why shouldn't they do it that way as well? No point in letting up. And there's a nice play. Oh, Chloe Gaynor gets a block on Antoinette Lewis. She'll enjoy that one. I'm sure she'll. Oh, and Sarah Burkett stepped out of bounds.
We obviously don't know all the reasons why she didn't put herself in earlier, but there you saw two or three things. First of all, that last assist was a great assist. Secondly, she's taking up a lot of space inside, and she's making it more difficult for them to have free movement around the hoop.
Alyssa Marin now fouls out. 3 Eagles players have fouled out in this game. Zoe Willis comes back in.
You know what's one of the hardest things to teach players is when you have a situation like that where she's got beaten by the player she's guarding, yet she wants to reach in. It's once you're beaten, it's somebody else's problem, and she should be concentrating on where she rotates to take somebody else. That was a great switch there by Zoe Willis. Great switch.
Mullins shot. Well, Chloe Gaynor actually almost got that rebound. The youngster Ella Wright gets her first minutes as well as for Sheffield. Zoe Willis tries to come inside. Cheyenne Stubbs got good hands on that, but it's the Eagles' arrow. 87-55. Sheffield dominant in the second quarter, pretty dominant in this quarter as well. 21-11 this quarter so far. In fact, it's 23-11 by my count. Chloe Gaynor sets the screen, tells which way Daly to go. Daly does go that way. Throws it to the corner. Sarah Burkett is too long. She had it apart. It comes off Maria Fernandez and goes down. Georgia Gale's final figures: 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals. She did have 5 turnovers as well, but she's done her job, no bother there at all. Mullins to Wright. Is Wright going to go all the way? No, very sensible from the youngster. She pulled back. Chloe Gaynor has now got a steal as well. That's going to be a walk.
And 2 assists.
No, it was a walk.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought she took an extra step, but I'm not. Well, I used to be a referee.
Pity, because it was an inch perfect pass.
Yeah, it was a great pass. Well, Sheffield with just 2 of their starting 5 out there. Sorry, 3 of their starting 5 out there. Mullins, Gondini and Lewis. Great steal by Andrea Daly. Oh, a great block as well, coming back by Megan Mullins. That's how to trail back and pick up your error. She gives it to Stubbs in the corner, can't make the 3. Wright gets a rebound into the Mullins. She doesn't make it. Stubbs takes the rebound. Well, Sheffield really are being pretty dominant everywhere in the court at the moment. And that will be Eagles cut the ball out. Jada Dapper may have said a word I hope he didn't pick up on commentary.
Well, I mean, you look back to last season, don't you? There's a 32-point game here. Of the 5 games they played, there was 2 real blowouts, but the other 3 were really, really tight. And the Eagles twice came back after the blowouts and made a really competitive effort against the Hatters.
Yeah, and that's what they'll have to do this time as well.
Yeah.
Dapper, wow, she's some players, Jada Dapper. Fans warming to her. Right to Mullins. Mullins, Stubbs, well, somehow got to Wright. And Wright makes the basket, and that delights the whole bench.
Well, she must be, there's obviously a reason why they're all celebrating. Maybe it's their first ever basket, maybe a junior player.
It's a junior player who's just come up to the senior ranks. First game, first basket. First minutes. Foul by Lewis. .46. Emphatic win for Sheffield. We did think before the game it probably was going to be a win for Sheffield, but perhaps not by this many points. Alex Campbell knocks the so the Eagles bench will celebrate that as Alex Campbell makes 2 points. Oh, sorry, makes 1 point. Shouldn't say she makes 2 points. She has though. 2-2. Inside the last 40 seconds, Sheffield didn't get 50 in the first half, won't quite get 50 in the second, but they will get 91, which is an excellent effort. Right. Involved, Fernandez steps inside Gainer. Best mates, those two off court, you know. Still can't make it. Daly steps inside, she can't make it, she gets a rebound and she puts it back. 14 points, 14 rebounds for Andrea Daly. Mariana Fernandez at the other end misses the 2, and that will be all she wrote. And it finishes here. Newcastle Eagles 61, Sheffield Hatters 91. Emphatic win for Hatters, second quarter and the final quarter.
Yeah, I mean, I think we thought, didn't we, before the game that, as always, the Hatters would be one of the teams challenging for all trophies and everything this year. They've made a lot of changes, but they've still got the same style of play. They still rely a lot on ball movement, which creates a lot of good things for us. In Georgia Gale, they've got a great leader, and obviously Gandini just being that British spot and things she can do, I think. But, you know, I'm sure Coach Chloe Gaynor will go away and think there were some positives from this game. I thought that the import players grew into the game a little bit the longer it went on. And obviously, you know, things take time, and they've only had one pre-season game at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's, you know, so this is pretty much a pre-season game as well. I mean, obviously the Eagles would have wanted to win. What they'll be looking forward to, hopefully, is getting Shanique Lucas through the regulations so that she can play the next game. That will probably make a difference. The Eagles will go to Nottingham on Saturday for their second group game. Sheffield, I'm not sure who their next game is, but a good win for Sheffield by 91 to 61. Hope you've enjoyed it. Sorry about the gremlins early on, but we got there in the end, as did the Sheffield Hatters. Congratulations to them. And the Eagles, well, they'll just have to regroup and come back another day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.